Hello, everybody. Time to start the session. Welcome to the 3D market commentary. Today is June 30, 2022, last day of the month. My name is Jose Blasco. I will be taking care of the session today. Often you get to see Becky, often you get to see Bojan. Today is going to be me. So welcome again to the session. And let's begin with the market analysis and the market commentary. Very quick before we get started, as always, I would like to highlight on the upper left side of the screen our financial disclaimer. Please read it carefully. It is important information. It is fairly short. Therefore, I am counting on you to read it completely. And I thank you very much for that. Again, it's important stuff. Anyway, with all of this done and the disclaimer out of the way, it's now time to jump in the markets. And the way I'm going to present this market commentary today is basically like in trading. We are mechanical. We approach trading to create consistent results. You have to have consistent action. So kind of the same thing when it comes to presenting the market information here. On the left, I got our 3D approach, our news flash that we send every day in an email to our subscribers. I'm talking about our free subscription. In case you don't know how to get it, I am highlighting this information on the screen. You just go to this link, tradewithufos.com/newsflash. You input your information. Again, no credit card, no anything. It's free. And you get this market information in your inbox every day, 1 hour before the market opens. So it helps you to prepare for the trading session and understand the market environment. Now, we're going to go over 5 markets. The 5 markets that we're going to discuss are the most important markets out there. We're talking about S&P, we're talking about dollar, gold, crude oil, Bitcoin. So we are talking about very relevant markets that dictate what's happening out there. Money flows from those markets to those markets. And therefore, everything outside those markets is certainly significant, especially if you have a trade running. But definitely, those are the most significant markets out there, and understanding their particular status, their behavior, their conditions, it's key to trade well and be safe. So we're going to begin our 3D approach. We're going to look at those markets in 3D. The first dimension is what we call the market climate. The second dimension is what we call the UFOs. And the third dimension will be the volatility. So from a climate point of view, we are looking at defining what is the upcoming market direction. So if I scroll down a bit here, so we get information about the S&P 500, which is, by the way, the chart I have on the right. Okay, this is the S&P 500 futures. We can see the futures markets are down by 1.37% as we speak. So it's going to be a down day as the market opens with a gap down for the equities. So when we are looking at this market, what else can we understand? Dimension number 1, what's the climate, right? So, well, the climate, it's a down climate and it's confirmed. Okay, so climate, down, confirmed, yes. How do we know? Well, it's down because it's a red dot. How do we know it's confirmed? Because the dot is thick. Okay, so it's not one of those thin dots like the ones you have here or the ones that we had just prior to the red dots. It's thick. And therefore, it means the current climate condition, which is the dot on the very right, it's confirming the climate is down. Okay, now, the fact that the market is falling, obviously, like the concept of market trends, implies that probably it will keep falling, but nothing lasts forever. So the question is, what is the statistical duration of down climate on the S&P on a daily time frame? So the statistical duration is 2.98. We are now trading on candle number 2 out of what statistics suggest. 2.98 is a normal thing to happen. In other words, having another day or so of having the market falling would be pretty normal and definitely expected. So I would say that probably we're going to see the market continue falling, come to this green UFO, dimension number 2. UFO stands for unfilled orders, located at 37, 13.5, 36, 39. This is the prices for the UFO. And as those unfilled orders kick in, they get filled and the market will likely bounce higher. Now, if it bounces higher, it does get as high as 38.92, where we have sell unfilled orders. From there, it's probably going to go back down and potentially restart a new down climate to then go further down to the next UFO waiting at 34.80. Okay, so it's very important to understand those various dimensions to be able to anticipate and therefore position yourself as a trader or investor in the right side of the market and with trades with low risk, high reward, etc. Okay, so dimension number one, market climate, upcoming market direction. So we just say at least for one more day going down. Buy and sell UFOs. Where are the turning points? Where are the upcoming turning points? We just talk about it. And finally, we got the market volatility, which we are extracting from looking at options data. In this case, we are looking at the VIX. The VIX being the implied volatility index for the S&P 500 options. So in other words, you take the 500 greatest stocks in America, you look at their implied volatility for those 500 options markets, and then you average it, and it's more than average it, is weighted based on delta and a collection of things which are complex to explain. No need to do this here. And basically we end up with a value 29.83%, which is the expected move in 1 year. So if we take the options pricing models and we reverse engineer them, 28.83% a year means 70.71 points either up or down in 1 day, 155.78 points either up or down in a week, and 324 points either up or down in a month. That would be the speed of movement, the expected speed of movement for this particular market, which is obviously one of the very relevant equity markets in the world, being the largest equity index market. Okay, very good. So not seeing any questions on the chat boxes. I guess everybody is okay with this, everything making sense. Feel free to type on the chat boxes. We're watching you guys, happy to help, even though I went straight to the point in this session. We are obviously more detailed in the live sessions that we do, but certainly happy to take a few questions on the fly if you have any. Okay, so what else? Well, you see me utilizing some of the apps here, right? So I'm using AutoClimate, AutoUFO. Know that AutoClimate, which is the app on the bottom part of the screen, is free. You can get to our website, tradewithufos.com/apps, and you can just activate this app for TradingView, for example. It's also available for other platforms you can check on our website. I'm using it on TradingView here. And above, we got the AutoUFOs, which is our patented technology, and you can also subscribe on our website if you would like to use such technologies. So moving to the next market, which is crude oil futures. So we are moving to crude oil futures, and we can see how we had a red UFO price, came inside the red UFO, and crude oil starting to move to the downside as the sell on-field orders got filled. I mean, we were talking about this UFO in a prior session. We just started defining a new down climate, which is confirmed. Statistical duration for this down climate, 5.78. We just started candle one out of 5.78. So it would be expected for crude oil to keep falling. And to be honest, so far, there is nothing to stop it until 80, which is a pretty major move, potentially speaking. So now, is it possible that it drops by a bit and then institutions step in and they add new buy orders, and then next time we meet, we have some sort of a green UFO on the screen at certain level? Could that be? Yes. And if that was to be the case, then the app would draw this on the screen real time for you. As we speak, that does not exist, and therefore there is indeed room for crude oil to have a very, very severe drop to the downside all the way to 80. And the climate just started. So again, nothing's a sure thing in trading, but statistics suggest that being a seller carries a statistical advantage. And that's your climate, your sell orders 110.43, your buy orders 80.47. Those would be the key price points to watch when it comes to buying crude oil or selling crude oil. Speed of movement, expected speed of movement out of OVX, which is the implied volatility for crude oil options. It's actually options on crude oil futures. So that is 48.57% a year. Again, reverse engineer the pricing models and you get 3.35 points a day, either up or down, 7.38 points a week, either up or down, 15.37 points a month, either up or down. Okay? Good. So moving to the next market, which is gold. And also I would like to highlight as well the fact that we have courses actually in the bottom part of the screen. You may have seen, you may have read that we are launching our new crypto course on July 9. You may want to participate. It's a great time to participate in this course, not only because it's new, but also because it comes with a promotion for the launch, with a 61.8% discount. So take a look at our page in tradewithufos.com course/courses. There are more courses, okay? Like, for example, you may be trading stocks, and right now I am presenting you information related to the futures markets. This is gold futures. You may be like, oh, I don't know how to trade futures. Well, guess what? There are courses for that, and certainly extremely powerful markets for traders to learn. Even if you don't trade them, understanding those markets is definitely very relevant, okay? So finally, after some boring time with gold, with many of those thin dots, we are now finally seeing two thick dots, 2 days of confirmed climate to the downside. Okay, so finally the market seems to be deciding in which direction it wants to move. Statistics here have been broken. This market has been dropping 8 candles when statistics suggest 5.69 is a normal thing to happen. So we went beyond what's normal, probably because it was so boring that, basically that was wasted time. And now the market is picking up direction. So it's going to last for potentially a few more days. You would expect it to come to the green UFO and from there to bounce, okay? So again, sell on field orders, 1962.7, buy on field orders, 1781.3. You have this market data right here. Again, we send that on email in a daily basis before the market opens. So you could certainly take advantage of that. And finally, speed of movement expected for gold based on GVZ, which is the implied volatility for options on gold futures. So we're talking about options on futures, derivative of a derivative. It's 18.08% in a year. Reverse engineer the pricing models, and you get 20.64 points either up or down in a day, 45.44 points either up or down in a week, 94 plus points either up or down in a month. This is what is expected with gold, which seems to finally decide a little bit more about what it wants to do after plenty of indecision. By the way, a lot of the movement which is happening in crude oil, which is happening in gold, you can see is going down. Crude oil is going down. The S&P is going down. Bitcoin, which I will review at the end, is also going down by 5.5% today. Well, guess why all of this is happening? Well, it's because the dollar index, which is my next market, the dollar index is going up. Okay, because the dollar is becoming more expensive, you need less dollars to buy those other things, and because it's the most important currency in the world, where 80% transactions worldwide are happening in US dollars. So obviously everything is becoming cheaper. Why? Because you need less dollars to buy the same product, because the dollar is becoming stronger against a basket of currencies. This is, my friends, the dollar index futures, the DX, the Dixie futures, and we are looking at an up climate, which is confirmed, blue thick dot, statistical duration of this climate, 4.93. So we can be, enjoying this move to the upside for another 2-3 days, and therefore other markets may continue falling for 2-3 more days. We are making all-time high, like in 20 years in dollars. So no sell orders at this moment in time. When it comes to buy orders, we're talking about 102.85, 101.86. I mean, it's already looking like dollar is gonna go up intensively. If it was to drop to 102.85, I would say even more, potentially even more. But again, all of this is to be defined. So far, I would not expect it to fall because the climate is up and the statistical direction is supposed to be 4.93. Speed of movement based on EVZ, which is options on currency futures, 9.68%, which reverse engineer the pricing models, that 0.64 points a day, either up or down, 1.41 points either up or down in a week, 2.93 points either up or down in a month. And finally, the last market we have to analyze and examine is Bitcoin. By the way, we trade all these markets live in our live sessions on the screen. You can see tradewithufos.com/coaching. Join us on the live trading sessions, guys, where beyond looking at market data like I'm doing now, we're actually putting the trades in place and executing them. But take a look at what's happening to the beautiful Bitcoin here, with a second stack of on-field orders that have just been added earlier in the day. Many on-field orders located at 20,120, buy orders located all the way at 14,000. So lots of room for Bitcoin to keep falling. The climate is down and confirmed. No need to talk about statistics at this moment in time. Why? Because Bitcoin is, believe it or not, a very new market, and therefore statistics are less relevant. So I'm just focusing on what the direction is now without being able to really measure the expected duration based on statistics, because we don't have enough data for that. We don't have enough samples to have a proper calculation. But anyway, the fact that more sell orders have been added means that if Bitcoin was to rally, those sell orders will probably bring it back down and keep going down all the way until we reach that 14,000 mark. So pretty bearish scenario, especially with such a strong dollar. BVIN, which is an implied volatility calculation for Bitcoin, is pointing at 97.9. So this is 1,179 points either up or down in a day, 2,600 kind of in a week, up or down, 5,400 kind of either up or down in a month. And we are reaching the end of the session here with the economic calendar. I will also point at our social media places for you to go take a look, like us, follow us, and all of the above. Hopefully you do like us, and therefore you do follow us. For sure, if there are certain things that you feel are improvable from what we do, feel free to speak up. I'm happy to work on improving everything we do, but please do not remain silent. Connect with us, message us on social media, email us, etc. Anyway, so today is Thursday, June 30. The various news that were highlighted here in red color already took place because it was Asia and Europe. The one that is not highlighted, which is less relevant, even though it's kind of relevant, so I'll mention it, is the fact that at 8:30 in New York, meaning 15 minutes ago, unemployment claims were reported. So, this may also be leading to a little bit of movements intraday. Normally not be on intraday. This is not like the unemployment number on the first Friday of each month, but certainly it's a relevant number as well, since everybody's looking for inflation data, employment data, and so on. Everybody is traumatized with the economies these days because obviously economies are not in the best shape. Anyway, my friends, it's been a pleasure as always for me to conduct the session for you. I'm doing a live option session later in the day at 11. So if you haven't yet, join us with the coaching. So you can join me at 11 p.m. That would be in Singapore time, or 11 a.m. that would be New York time. And we can do some trading together, my friends. Looking forward to looking at those options opportunities, which are always there waiting for us. Take care, everybody. See you soon. Trade well. Bye-bye.